Hello friends, welcome to EduTab. So SEBI has finally come out with the interview dates after postponing them 2 times earlier. Now the interviews are starting from 6th of May in Chennai. Yes, you heard it right. They are not starting from Delhi, they are starting from Chennai. And the reason is very obvious, the bad situation of COVID in Delhi. So this is a good news for people who have cleared phase 2 and are waiting for interviews to start. Now, two things really become clear from this. One is that they are not in any sit and wait approach, because for an organization like SEBI, if something gets postponed 2 times from their end, they might have thought that okay, let's sit and wait, let the situation improve, and then we will see what needs to be done. But they are continuously coming out with new interview dates, so it shows that there is some urgency to complete the process at their end, which is anyways good for everyone, even those who have not cleared phase 2, because only if the current cycle recruitment gets finished, we can hope that there will be next notification coming out. Now, another area which becomes very clear is that they are not interested in conducting the interviews in an online mode, because they must have evaluated that option by now. RBI conducted it last year, so they know that is very much feasible. They would have debated it, but I think they are of point of view that face-to-face is the best mode of conducting an interview. Now, shifting to a piece of advice, I'll give some points to the candidates who are preparing for interview. I have just jotted down some points, right? I've told you these points earlier also. These are no-brainer points, but just to remind you that no, you need to cover these areas, because this is some quality time you are getting and you must be using this very fruitfully. So the two areas I want you to cover is, first is about yourself, second is about SEBI. Very simple. About yourself, about SEBI. I would be covering the first area first, and then I'll come to that how to cover the area related to SEBI. About yourself. So when it comes to about yourself, two things that you need to take care. One is your biodata. So you must be very thorough with your biodata, whatever you have filled in your biodata. For example, your past experience, your qualification, your interest and hobbies, right? These you must be very thorough with. Read your biodata at least 100 times. Think about 100 questions that can be asked from your biodata. Go wild when imagining questions that can be asked from your biodata, because they at least expect you to answer everything related to you, because it is you who have filled that biodata, right? So please be very thorough with your biodata. Ask your friends, ask your relatives, ask your mentors if they can help you in framing questions out of your biodata. The second point that you need to do when it comes knowing about you is that you must be preparing for some behavioral questions. Now, what can be those behavioral questions? For example, questions like, say, what are your strengths and weaknesses? Where do you see yourself 5 years from now? And a very common question which was asked to all the candidates who were preparing for UPSC in 2018 interviews is that you are aiming for a job like UPSC, which is a very high profile job. How would you settle a job? How would you settle for a job in SEBI? So for these kind of questions, some really smart answer needs to be given. And if I remember correctly, one of our students who got selected in SEBI in 2018 really gave a smart answer to this question. He said, sir, when I'm aspiring for a job, it's not the stature or the power in that job that I'm interested in. What I'm interested in is the learning and the growth opportunities that I will get in a job. So you can see this is a very short, crisp and a smart answer, and if you can answer something like this, I think that will help you to really score some brownie points there. Now coming to the second area, this was knowing about you. The second area that you should be covering is about SEBI. Now to cover SEBI, I'll break that into 3 points. One is you should be knowing in general about SEBI. So for that, I think the best source is you go to the SEBI website. Under that, there is a head about SEBI. Read that. Huge information is given there. I think you should be very thorough with that information. The maximum you can cover from there, it would be good for you. Like who is the chairman of SEBI? What are the various departments in SEBI? What are the functions of SEBI? What are the powers given to SEBI? That you should be clear about. And that About SEBI page on the website will help you in preparing for that. Now the second area, first is about SEBI in general. The second area is the work which SEBI does actually. I mean, the regulations SEBI do. I mean, SEBI is a regulator. Their main job is to regulate the market. So you must be very thorough with the regulations like insider trading, fraudulent practices, mergers and takeovers, ICDR, LODR regulations. These were not part of your syllabus, but if you read the 2018 transcripts, everyone was asked at least one or two questions on this. And I think that's very logical because that is the area SEBI works upon. And they expect you to know at least some basics of these regulations. So please go through that. Right, it's not something which is really tough. You have cleared phase 2. To cover these kind of regulations will not be a tough job for you. And the third area which I want you to cover is SEBI current affairs. That is very, very important. Again, if you read the transcripts of 2018 interviews that were conducted by SEBI, almost everybody was asked, tell us 2 news related to SEBI, right? So that's a very open-ended question. You can tell anything that you would have read, but be careful because once you tell 2 things related to SEBI that you would have read in newspaper or something, the questions that will follow will depend upon what you have said. So if somebody said that I read about insider trading being done in that and that company and SEBI has fined that company, then the next question coming would be, what is insider trading? So they will make a chain out of your answers. Questions will keep flowing like that. So you would be the driver of your interview. Remember that. Right. So I'm done with explaining the 2 areas about you and about SEBI, right? And for all those who are still not aware, we have a special free course for interview preparation of SEBI in which we are covering SEBI current affairs, we are covering SEBI regulations, and we are also providing you some interview transcripts that I just talked about 1 minute back in this video. So those interview transcripts are basically the experience of the candidates who have got selected or who have appeared for the SEBI interviews in 2018. So they are very good. They would act as a gold mine for you. So please go through them, see what they are asking, how the people are answering. That is also important for you to know. Right. So I hope you will enroll into that free course in case you have not enrolled till now, because that will really help you to prepare better. The link of that course is given in the description of this video. So go to the description of this video, click on the link to enroll into this free course for SEBI interview preparation, and I'm sure you will benefit a lot from that. Right? And we are also conducting mock interviews for SEBI. I think almost 350 people have enrolled into that mock interview thing, 300 or around 350. In case somebody is left and is watching that video right now, I would request you to please go to the description of this video. There is a link given to enroll into free mock interviews. You have to fill an Excel sheet, the link of which is given in the description of this video. So that's it, guys, and I hope you stay safe and your family stays safe, because these are really tough times and we need to control ourselves. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye bye. Namaskar.